The Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights has called the violence against Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar, quote, a textbook example of ethnic cleansing.
Organized.
The types of violations reported were egregious, including extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearances and arbitrary detention, rape, including gang rape, and other forms of sexual violence, torture, cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment, looting and occupation of property, and ethnic and religious discrimination and persecution. Systematic and acute discrimination of the Rohingya Muslims continues to be kept alive by the democratically elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi, to a point referred recently to by the High Commissioner for Human Rights as ethnic cleansing of an entire people.
Julie Sangera made the remarks in Switzerland. She said testimonies gathered by a UN team from Rohingya refugees last month indicate unspeakable horrors. Meanwhile, two UN special advisors say Myanmar's government has failed to meet its international obligations and protect Rohingya Muslims from the atrocities taking place in Rakhine State. The Rohingya refugees continue to flee to neighboring Bangladesh as Myanmar's army continues to target the Muslim minority and burn their villages. Joining us live now from Toronto is Mr. Edward Corrigan, who is an international human rights lawyer, and he's joining us live now via Skype. Mr. Corrigan, as a human rights lawyer yourself, do you believe that this is ethnic cleansing?
Well, it clearly is ethnic cleansing. In fact, it's so organized and systematic. It just shows how careful the Myanmar army, and it's a particular unit that's been identified by the refugees, and a lot of the Amnesty International just did a study of about 5 villages where they found that hundreds of Rohingya Muslims had been killed. Many of the people who fled had wounds in their back, showing that they were fleeing with pain. And of course, satellite imagery and other reports confirm that villages of the Rohingya Muslims are totally destroyed, including their mosques and everything. And a few hundred yards away, villages belonging to other groups are not destroyed. So the use of rape is widespread, other sexual violence, and nothing is being done. But Amnesty has said it's going to further its study and identify the individuals responsible for it. And Amnesty International also has called for the Security Council to impose a series of sanctions against Myanmar because of the violence and cut off weapons sales. Also impose the financial sanctions on the country and to take strong action. While more and more politicians in the United Nations are raising their voices, there still hasn't been concrete action taken against the Myanmar government. There has been some. The United States and Britain have imposed an arms embargo, but Israel is still supplying arms to the Myanmar military. So you're seeing a horrific crisis. 580,000 Rohingya Muslims have fled to neighborhood Bangladesh in the recent period, and there's no prospect of ending. Nobody seems to have the ability to control the Myanmar military, and certainly not the elected civil government in Myanmar, headed by Suu Kyi, who herself is a renowned human rights sort of campaigner and received the Nobel Peace Prize for that. But she says little or nothing about the Rohingya Muslims. So we have probably the worst crisis on the planet right now that's in an active state. And there are ethnic cleansing. They are destroying whole villages. Hundreds of villages have been wiped off the map, and all this is confirmed by eyewitness testimony and also by satellite imagery.
Okay, Mr. Corrigan, we'll leave it at that. But of course, as always, we appreciate you taking your time out to speak to us here at Press TV.